Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Rent Collective podcast. And today we're talking about a bit of a business topic. It is a business topic.
Yeah.
And that is, what are we doing in our business now instead of social media? And so many of you will, if you've been listening for a while, will know that we took, I don't remember what month it was, we took a social media break, both personally and on business for an entire month. That was prompted by lots of different things. It was kind of a little test for us as well. And if you go back to episode 60, that explains like how we were taking a break. And then
I think it's like
67 is what we came away from after the month. And so some of that we'll touch on a little bit here, but we're going to talk about like, okay, we've been out a little bit further, and what are we doing in our business besides that? So the conclusion, not giving away the episodes that you can go back and listen to, spoiler alert, is our month away from social media did not affect our business. In fact, our business, strangely, our business numbers to our website from social media were higher, only by a couple, but still that was strange to me that we weren't on there and more people come from there. It did not affect our business, like finances and stuff at all. Now, we don't have like a super large following or anything, or at least I guess some people would consider it large, but we don't feel like it's that large compared to other people we know who are in business and that we're friends with and stuff like that. And so maybe it would look different depending on this, but I would say it's worth trying to take a break and not have a lot of your time spent to that. So what are we doing instead? We've entered ourselves back into social media. I personally use it way more for personal stuff than I do business. But when I say personal stuff, it's just connecting with my friends and stuff like that. For our business, we used to post 5 times a week. And we were on Monday through Friday. We tried to take the weekends off, and Monday through Friday we were on there interacting, doing all that stuff, spending quite a bit of time on there actually. And it wasn't always perfect.
Tried many different techniques and all that kind of stuff during the
things that people tell you will grow your following and all that stuff. Now, did that stuff work in the past? It did. It's not working now. Social media has just changed a lot. And so...
Well, and too, I think a lot of it is because our business was built on more like image-based stuff.
Yeah, not video.
Where now it's swaying way more towards video stuff. So, yeah.
And it's not that we're not participating in some of the video stuff, but for us and our business... it takes a lot of time to do the video stuff. And so we can sit and do this, and that's different. But, putting together a quick, snappy reel and stuff like that is not really, it's not creatively fun for us that much either. It takes a lot of time then. So all that to be said, we are doing posts on social media 2 times a week. That is all. And then I am going on there and I will post the stories. I try to do that every day except for the weekends, but that doesn't always happen, and I'm just okay with that. There are other things that I put as a priority for my day, and if I'm still working on those and I don't get to the social media part of it, then that's fine. So that says, and I do figure out what those 2 posts are and write all of those in one. I block 1 day a month, and it actually does not take me the whole day. It used to take me the whole day when we were doing.
Yeah, well, especially if you're doing 5 days a week.
Yeah, 5 days a week. It maybe takes me an hour to 2 hours, if even, to like write the caption, figure out what we're going to post and stuff like that. And then I just we use Asana, and I put that into a whole, I have like a content thing, and then I just copy and paste and stuff when it's time to post. And I use Tailwind too. Note on both of those things, we do have a little download that is about business tools that will help save you time, and those are both listed in there, but there's other things in there. It's a free download on Rent Collective Learning if you want to check it out. So what are we doing instead of social media then, if that's the bare minimum that we are doing? So we sat down, and we do this regularly because we work together.
We do?
We do. Did you know we work together?
I didn't know that. Okay.
Pat does the art side of things, obviously creates the art and that kind of thing. And then I do the business and marketing side of things. And so with that means that we sit down, and often I'm like, look, here's our numbers and here's where the income is coming in and stuff like that. We'd like to grow this. We can take away the, all that kind of stuff. And so what it means is that we are focusing on some of those other areas right now. And so the things that we are focusing on is like more like we're developing some more cards and stuff like that for the card companies that we license our artwork to. Pat's been working on several children's books right now. And then I have really been spending a lot of time on, I've already done this, but I'm going back in and refining like SEO on everything from our Shopify site that we have to our Etsy shop that we have. And then hopefully launching something, I don't know when it will happen, but hoping launching something, another place that people can purchase our art and stuff like that. And so those are the areas that we've been focusing on, as well as things like this, providing you guys with like free content that you can access to help grow your business, to help people just in life in general and that kind of stuff. And providing, we have the Laurent Collective Learning website now, which would have never happened. We wouldn't have had the time. We actually did build that during that time we took off social media. And it was just because of feedback from you guys, like, oh, you said this, but then I would love a download for it or things like that. Yeah. And again, what all of that is doing when you post on social media, and let's say you go into Google and you say, I'm trying to think of something. How do I find the purpose behind my business or something like that? I don't think we come up for that yet, but hopefully we will eventually. And we might not come up to like the second page of Google, which is basically no one goes to the second page when they search. But if we had made a post every single day on Instagram about that, that would not come up on a Google search. Right. But if we did a video like this on YouTube, because it is the second largest search engine, or we did a video and then we posted that to Pinterest, and then we also did a podcast and things like that, those kinds of things are going to come up when somebody searches the topic. Or if somebody searches something that they're looking for artwork with this phrase, or this, we have obviously artwork with Bible verses and stuff like that. If they type that in, the hope would be that then one of our shops is going to pick up on that and that kind of thing, depending, how popular that phrase is and that kind of stuff. That's how people find you. That's how people, think about what you do basically when you're wanting to purchase something. Where do you go when you're looking for information or when you're looking to purchase something? And how do you find those people? I personally, and I would say probably the majority of us, don't go onto Instagram or Facebook and put in, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something very practical right now.
Household vase.
What'd you say?
Like a vase or a vase.
How to sell it?
Or where to get one.
Where to get one, yeah.
I'm not going to
go to Instagram to figure that. If I think of something you're going to purchase, I know, I'm looking at it right here. We wanted a lamp, a smaller lamp to go on our, where our TV is.
TV console. Or console. I don't know. No, it's console.
I don't think they say it that way here.
I'm just kidding.
Credenza? No, okay,
No.
All right, we need to stop. Okay, so all that to say, I knew I wanted a small lamp, and so I went on to put small lamp or whatever into Pinterest just to see what kind of thing we could come up with and that kind of thing. And then that led me to click several different times to find a lamp that we liked, and I purchased it. So that is all to say that if you're looking to grow your business because you want people to make purchases, which is how you grow your business, is that you sell things. And you increase your income and that kind of thing, then you have to figure out how people will come to you that way. That is not to say that we don't ever have, so I want to be clear that I'm saying that Instagram or whatever it is, Facebook, TikTok, all of those things, that a sale never comes from there, because that would be untrue. We do have stuff come from there, or people through a roundabout way find us through there. That used to happen more than it does now. But when we look at our website traffic and what comes from it, and then I can even see on Pinterest, you can set it up depending on what kind of website you have. You can set it up to see if someone has added to their cart from Pinterest, from a link from Pinterest, and if they've purchased from Pinterest. And so even that, I can see that as well. And know that is, again, that's a search engine. When you search, you know how it comes up if you think of when you go onto Google. Yeah. It's YouTube videos and Pinterest, and then the links after that. So right away, that shows you what, and maybe hopefully your website comes up or something like that, if you've done some things right. So that is the idea. You want to be doing something that is going to build those things instead of spending a ton of time on social media. And I'm part of some groups of people who like, they're all about like selling on social media and all that kind of stuff. And it's not to say I haven't learned things from that and we haven't used some of those tools and that kind of stuff. We decided to still be on social media for right now. I don't know what we're going to do long term, but we're very minimally on it. And again, like we know somebody who is a lettering artist, and he has a larger social media following, but he has come to us several times to ask us about how do we even sell prints and stuff, because no one's purchasing anything from him. So again, he has a great social media following, but no one's actually he's not making money off of it, if that makes any sense. I would say, like, you were even watching TikTok or something on TikTok the other day, because you watch a lot of artists, and the person was talking about, like, it's great if you make it great on TikTok, but how are you going to make that, like, how are you going to do something with that to make money and income? How are you going to do that? Of course, you can Google all that stuff. There's ways to do that. Yeah. But I would say the things we have been focusing on are the actual things, and that's going to look different for each business business type that you are in. There's a lot of things that people have stepped away from, like blogging and creating blog posts and stuff like that everyone's like, oh, remember when the blogging thing was around and that kind of thing, and that was great. And yes, that's because that's where we all went, was to read people's like thoughts and ideas and stuff like that, because there wasn't social media. However, the blogs still pick up SEO. Social media does not.
Yeah, it's true.
And so we have stepped away personally from blogging, and it's something I actually really did enjoy, because that's my creativity thing, is writing and everything. And so we have stepped away from it, and we are going to be re-entering that, because when you search, and especially if you've done really good on the blog and stuff like that, like, it comes up. It may not mean that there's, we used to write blogs, or I did, and I'd have like 25 comments of people and be interacting on there. You may not get that, but a blog post can be used on Pinterest. It can be used, you could create a video then for YouTube. I mean, there's all these different things that, again, it will come up in a search engine.
I just think one of the biggest things with social media, like now, where, when it originally started and when we were gaining like traffic and like we were gaining momentum through social media, it's so different now, where like I don't even know if anyone's going to see our post half the time.
They don't.
Just because of how things have just continually changed. And again, next week it'll probably change again. And so I think, again, it just feels like you're always chasing the next thing, or chasing the next way of doing it. And like, that just seems exhausting. It is exhausting. It's just exhausting. And so I think for us, like, now stepping away from kind of, I don't know, the rhythm that we had with it, I think has opened up opportunities and opened up other ways for us to really grow our business, as well as grow like personally, and spending time with, I don't know, community around us, and not like that, So I think, again, it's.
Do you like my sound effects?
Sound effects.
I was holding my phone for those.
Sound effects are always good, especially if we don't have to add them. So thank you for that.
You're welcome anytime. I'm higher for that if you really like it.
I just, I think it's allowed us a freedom that I don't know if we necessarily realized that. Not that we needed, but it just allows us freedom. Again, to explore more, to push more into certain aspects of our business that, is helping us even more than social media.
I would say also, if you don't have a newsletter yet, you don't even need to send it out every week. Send it out once a month. If you don't have a newsletter yet in your business, find a way to get people on your newsletter list. Make sure you know how to do that in the right ways. Like, you can't just add people to a list. They have to opt into it and that kind of thing. And a lot of our stuff comes from that, is people will, and this is what is, I find, like you said, people clearly aren't seeing what we're posting, because I will put something in the newsletter, be like, hey, we have this new product. We've already posted it on social media weeks ago. And then we'll get replies to say, oh, this is amazing. Like, so weird I didn't see it on your Instagram. Or, oh, I went back to your Instagram, saw it, but it never came up on my feed, and that kind of thing. So that right there tells you when you're directly going into somebody's email, And we try to put stuff in there. It's not always the best, I'm sure, but we try our best to make it like content that people actually want to look at. We don't constantly sell on it. We just occasionally, like once a month, will I be like, this is a new product, or we'll put a story behind a product that really then resonates with people, like, why did we create this and that kind of thing. And so that's what the kind of stuff is that you want to do. And again, focusing on that grows our business versus, you know, I might spend that time writing the newsletter and everything versus the other stuff. You said something about like it's constantly changing, and I had this picture of like, you know, when a dog chases its tail and it just goes in circles and circles and circles and circles. That's what social media feels like right now. And I know there's tons of people out there that are going to tell you the opposite, and I get that. But there's one person I can think of in particular that I will sometimes listen to some of his stuff. And he's telling me to spend 6 hours a day on social media. What am I going to have time to do any of the other stuff? And to be on every single social media platform and to try it all out. And when there's a new one, you got to figure it out right away so that you're the first one on the ground. And all of that, if you're like me, feels very overwhelming. And it may work for a very small percentage of people. But for the rest of the majority, it means that like those other things of focusing on how do you get people into your on your store or whatever it may be, or to your content and that kind of thing, frankly, they have to be able to search it. They have to be able to search it when they're in need. Think of how you purchase things when you purchase. Yes, you might have your favorite stores that you might go right onto that store. You might go on Amazon. Have you thought about doing Amazon Handmade? Like different things like that. However you might feel about that. Amazon Handmade is where small businesses like us like sell their products and stuff like that. And it's the majority of the world goes on there first to search for something. Yeah. And again, as you look, if you Google in something small lamp, guess what? Amazon's one of the top ones that come up as well. And so think of those things. If you're trying to grow your business, you have to go where the people are and where they're going to make purchase decisions, not where they're going to get inspiration or to scroll because they're bored. And not maybe even where they go, and this sounds horrible because that's why we have loved Instagram in the past, not where they're going to build community. That is not a purchase decision. That's a community building thing. I feel like I've just been really harsh.
Well, yeah.
But I think we just want to be real with you guys after our business started when none of this stuff really, it barely was around. And then we've been here for the whole evolution. I know some of you are new in business or have only been in business for 5 years or that kind of thing. And so we've seen how shall we say, the good old days of social media, when it did help. A lot of things happened in our business that social media did bring about. So I don't want to discredit that. It's a different time now, though. And you have to keep up with that. You have to, and if you want to keep up with what's going on in social media now and their algorithms, all this stuff, you have to be okay with doing a lot of video content. You have to be okay with being on their platforms a long time and doing lots of engagement and stuff. And then it could possibly result in a sale, but I mean, nothing's guaranteed. No. But the percentages of what if someone's going on to make a purchase are not really that high on Instagram. So, and you can spend a whole lot of money on their advertisements and stuff like that and have no result either versus doing some other things with your funds for your business. Yeah. I've done a lot of talking because I'm the one that does
You're more that side.
More that side of the business. Yeah. He's more of the creative side of the business. I do include you in all the decisions we make because we sit down and we look at the numbers, and that's if you're tracking them.
It does affect me in a sense. If you're like, hey, we're posting 5 days a week, a lot of times we've got to come up with 5 items of new content, right? And so that does affect me. It does affect the things that I'm doing on a daily basis, where now it's, not that I've been creating like new posts every day and all that kind of stuff in the past, but it does affect that. It does affect the things that I'm able to work on or push into if I'm not so focused on trying to come up with a brand new post every week or every day or whatever it is. So for me, it's allowed space in order for me to be more creative in the certain projects that I'm working on and not feel so rushed in putting out posts. Like, we can put quality out there on our post, and hope that people are going to see it, but we're not throwing all of our eggs in that basket anymore. And so I think And for me creatively, it doesn't feel like I'm creating for those platforms. Like I'm creating for the people that want to engage with us, that are our audience, that are people that love the things that we do. I'm creating for them, not necessarily an algorithm or a certain type of format or whatever, So.
And I think it's all to say too, it's good to hear from people that have built their business without social media too. And there are several podcasts that I listen to because it is a topic I'm really interested in right now and have been for a little while. And some of these people I've taken courses from and things like that. And it was funny. One I was listening to, he's built $2 million businesses, and they have all been through YouTube, Pinterest, and newsletters. And he recently wrote a book, and his publisher is like, well, you have to be on social media. And he's like, I haven't done anything on there in forever. I think I'm going to be able to sell these books anyways. And still the publishers push for him to be on social media. So he's like, I am re-entering social media because that's an expectation now of publishers when you write a book.
Yeah.
But he's like, I can tell you right now, I can already tell where the sales are coming from, and they're not coming from social media. And so like this guy has built 2 massive businesses, all online businesses. They're not stuff that he's not put up a store on the street or something like that. Has done that all without social media. But then to even re-enter because someone's telling you have to do it because of book sales, which is pretty common. And then to find out actually that's still not resulting in the sales for that either, even though the industry thinks that it does and that kind of thing, is just a good example of like somebody. Unfortunately, our business is not at that number yet. It'd be great if it got there one day, but it was great to hear from somebody, and that's just one example. I've heard it from multiple people of once they took their focus away from that and focused on these other things. Now, it's not growth that's going to be like, bam, like you go from $0 to $1 million in 1 week or something like that. Good for you if that happens.
Yeah.
But it's the gradual stuff that then people come back to you all the time for content and for your products and that kind of thing. So, and you build loyalty that way too. So, which at one point, it's sad. I wish social media would go back to what it was before. I miss that. I miss being able to actually see the people I want to see. Like there are people I feel like we've just lost touch with that we were starting to get to know well because their stuff never comes up on our feed anymore, and it frustrates us. Yeah. And I know there's ways you can do it, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time sitting there and putting like close friends and all that. That takes time too. So, we hope that maybe if you're feeling, especially as like the holidays get closer and things like that with your business, if you're feeling this like, oh, how am I going to find time for all these different things? It's okay to step away and look at your numbers, look at your websites, look at all that stuff. Where are people coming from? And once you have that figured out, start to figure out, okay, I need to spend more time on Pinterest or this thing or that thing. If a lot of them are coming from social media, and you're still not selling anything, that tells you something as well. Yeah. And so then you need to focus, what's that second place they're coming from then to get that up. You don't have to go cold turkey and like completely come off of social media. You can slowly taper off if you want to. There are all kinds of different ways to do it. But you really need to think, is it actually bringing me sales in my company? And is it equaling my time that I spend on it? Because again, like Pat said. And you enjoy
it. Yeah.
And you enjoy it, or is it kind of like how we feel when we get off there? We're like, ugh.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible, but anyways, so we'd love to hear from you guys. This is a topic we do keep talking about because it keeps coming up from you of like, how is that going? Have you been trying new things? What is working? And that kind of thing in your business. And so what else do you want to know about this? Like what are more details that you want to know of maybe some of those other things that we are doing? Maybe we'll do a podcast on a couple of those things. Some things we're just now trying that we won't know for several months if they are going to work or not, because some of these things are a bit of slow growth and you have to be patient. In business, there's not necessarily a quick, fortunately, or we'd all be doing it. There's not a quick fix to more money and that kind of stuff. It's usually gradual. So
yeah.
Anyways, we hope that maybe that frees you up, that you think, great, I don't have to spend that much time. Maybe it gets you thinking of how you want to spend your time in your business and the places you want to spend your time. And again, we'd love to hear from you on questions that you have on this or more that you'd like to hear about it. Yeah. If you have just a moment, this does not take that long. You can rate and review us on both YouTube and on the podcast platform that you are listening to that helps other people find us, as well as any of the resources that we talk about, all the past like podcasts, links to YouTube, everything, free downloads, all that is on the Rent Collective Learning, that you can go on there and grab anything you might need and send us a message too.
Yeah, it'd be great. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, wonderful. Thanks you guys for joining, and we will see you next time.
See ya.